Okay. Do you notice a different screen? Well, I'm using a different lens. It's a little bit wider angled. Okay. That aside, I got my pen, which is the this is a Pilot Super Grip. It's an older pen. The ink is discontinued, and I'm working on this piece right here. I finished this area last time, and today I'm going to see about doing something here, and then I'm going to consider how I'm going to go about undetailing this thing. This thing is detailed too much. There, your eye is looking where? Where is your eye looking? Well, I see this area here and this here. And why do I see this area here and this area here first? Well, the reason is because it stands apart from all the other areas. You want your eye to be going someplace, looking somewhere, and everything else is supporting that central focus. And right now it's just too busy. So what am I going to do about it? Well, there are some options, and I'm going to explore those perhaps in another session, but today I think I'm going to work around here and here, and I'm going to do something with this. Not quite sure yet what. Not quite sure. So what I'd like to do, extend the nib, take off these glasses. What I'd like to do is go over why I'm doing what I'm doing when I'm doing it. Let you know my thinking process here. So my thinking process at this point is to make this area work right here, and it's not quite working for me. So I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to try and make it work. Now, while I'm doing this, I'll tell you why I don't think it works for me. I don't think it works because it's just doesn't have the same weight, number one, and I have a feeling about the underside of it right here. This is not quite right. It doesn't match with other areas. So right now I am very lightly almost tapping it, not really stroking it, more like tapping it. So, and I'm going across the hatching that I laid down earlier. I want this to be a little darker. Just a bit, not much. And there's an area right here that's too dark for the rest of it, so I cannot scale back, so I must go forward in darkening it around the area to make it integrated. There we go, nearly done. I'm going to hit that area right there. And I'm going to say that this is, it feels like it's done. Yes, now let me try and solve this problem over here. This area. I'm looking at it, I'm squinting my eyes like, what am I going to do? Squinting does help sometimes. Okay. Now I'm back here. This is a form of procrastination. Even though it feels like it needs to be done, I don't think I need to be there exactly so much. Okay, so also this is a form of procrastination, what I just did. Adding detail, hey. There you go. So what am I gonna do with this? Okay, well, because it's bothering me, I'm just gonna make it thicker. When in doubt, make something thicker. Add more detail. Yeah. That's the way to do it. Just add more detail, and then you're fine. Yeah, okay, actually that works. Let's take a look and see. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to. Well, you know what? I'm still not happy with this area. I just saw it from another angle, and it's still not quite right for me. Right here. So I'm going to try and finish this up. And you know, I may get pretty far today. I'm feeling good about that. Then we can move on to another piece. Make this a success, and then move on to the next piece. And then make that a success. And then move on to the next piece. You get the idea. All right. That's a little bit better. Okay, so we have this line here. I really like this, actually. It's surprising. I'm going to tell you something. I don't remember drawing any of this. I just don't remember. It's a long time ago. I mean, I know I drew it. I think I did. I got a feeling of it, but I don't remember drawing it like I remember drawing this down here because it was recent. But don't remember drawing that line. And the reason I'm saying this is because I like it, and I don't know what I was thinking when I did it. So in a way, it's almost like I'm looking at somebody else's art. And I'm saying, hey man, your art is pretty cool. I like what you did there. So if I sound like I'm getting up in my own butthole, this is the thinking I'm going through. I like what I did, or I like what he did. That guy over there that doesn't exist anymore. See, that's the thinking there. Okay. Now that I've explained myself, I am going to, before I do this area up in here, I'm going to do a little kind of a test in a way of how this de-detailing is going to occur. I've said a little bit about it, and the basic idea is there's too much detail, and I can't erase. So what I need to do is go forward in inking rather than going backwards. Backwards would be undoing what I did. I can't do that, so I have to do more. And let me show you what I mean. So here, there's all this detail in here, right? So what I'm going to do is delete it. And the way I'm going to do that is by blackening it in. Do you hear this rain? This is nice, isn't it? It's very peaceful. It's a moderate moderate rain. It's not heavy, not light. Oh, it's heavy enough to hear it. Anyway, I'll shut up so that you can hear it. Wasn't that nice? There's nothing like that. If I'm in my house, then I feel very secure, safe. When it rains, it's just a very, very nice feeling. Right. So I got rid of a lot of detail by just darkening it in. And the darkening or filling in process is not as simple as just taking your pen and coloring it all in. You have to know where and where not to. I don't know why I said you have to know. You have to feel where and where not to color in. That's it. And I can't tell you how to do that because what you're feeling with your piece is your expression, your self-expression. You very well may think, oh, you just colored in my favorite part. Who knows? But this is what sits well with me, and the process I'm doing is I'm just feeling where it is, and I'm trying to trust. I'm feeling where it is. That's what I'm doing. How am I doing that? I'm trusting my my sense of what can stay and what can go. And I believe it's the same process as I had all along. You know, any of this has to do with what I sensed, what I felt was the right place to put ballpoint pen. All of this was that. So now I have all these like little lines. You know, like there's a little line there, there's a little circle, a little line. All of these things are detail, right? That I'm going to perhaps get rid of completely. Don't know yet. As I go through, it reveals itself what will stay and what won't. Keep in mind that whatever it is that you do, I mean, it is in a sense other detail, but not as busy, maybe. Okay. So you're not actually losing anything, you're just gaining something else. It's all gains. Well, it's a lot cleaner, that's for sure. I'm not sure if it's less detailed exactly, but it is cleaner. So, get rid of this. See, this was just a little strange as far as the shape goes. That's why I did that. Now it's two circles. It's becoming less and less. Is it going to go away completely? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so like that. Yeah. Okay. Get rid of that whiteness. There we go. Perhaps fill this in here. Yep. This line here can go away. Yep. This line here can get a little thicker. Thicker. It's thicker. And in fact, I think this is the area that it is. It's the area I did earlier. So like that. Completely get rid of this white. That will reduce the detail. Remember not to go too hard. I was pressing too hard, and my wrist hurts because I was pressing a little too much, and also the piece will suffer. So just relax, Eric, relax. Relax. It's just everything I live for. You're a serious artist. Yes, I think I am. I'm serious about what I do. I've been doing this quite a long time. Well, relatively long time. Ever since I remember creating art when I was 3 or 4 years old. Yeah, it's a long time. Relatively. Then I'm just getting started. That sounds like a contradiction. You said you've been creating art since you were 4 and you're just getting started. What I mean is, I feel like everything is new, and I'm always at my top, my peak. Yeah, I look at the art that I did earlier, like let's say 10 years ago, and I think, yeah, I'm better now than I was then. Although, how do you judge such a thing, right? Better, worse? The line quality, I think, is cleaner now. So yeah, a lot of this right now that I'm working on, I'm cleaning it up. And if I had done this earlier or recently rather than earlier, I think that I wouldn't have been cleaning up so much because I would have cleaned it up then. But who knows, sometimes I just go really quickly and then worry about tidying it up later. All right, this is getting closer. I'm reluctant to get rid of a lot of this, but I am continuing to push forward and undetailing. How much do I want to do that over here? Now, a lot of this will be covered up, a sliver of it, but that is a lot. So I have to keep that in mind as I'm doing this. And the reason it will be covered up is because when I frame it, I will use a mat board. And there's about maybe 5 millimeters around, something like that. That was a really thin, nice line. I just covered up like that. And the thicker line is not as pretty. So that was a little bit of a sadness on my part. I will mourn that line. Not too much, though. I'll get over it. Oh, okay, see here, this is a little sloppy. Sloppy parts are easy to cover up. I have no regret about doing that. Or any of this, really. This is looking good. It's coming along. Yeah. I don't mind anything I've done so far. This is all fine. It's all fine. Okay. Now, that is detailed, but much less detailed. Okay. Right. You know what? I'm going to, now that I'm in this mode of detailing, I'm going to do it over here. So here we go. Can you see this? Yes, you can. All right. So it's going to go like that, or like that. Yeah. Like that. Okay. Notice that I am not going hardcore on this. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not pressing very hard at all. Just enough to get the ink to come out of the nib there. So that's how you get this kind of gray tone. Now, the reason I'm doing that is because I'm not sure how much I'm going to cover up this area. Am I going to go full opaque, or am I going to have it a little less opaque and a little bit grayer in tone? I don't know yet. So I go little by little, and then what you get is you have a little choice as you're going along. Yeah. It's not always as easy as just choosing as you go, because you don't really know what something looks like until you do it. Now, when I say you, I'm talking about me, really, because maybe you do. Maybe you can foresee what it is you're doing. I can't. The way that my mind works is I lay it down, and then I see what I did, and then I go from there. It's hard for me to foresee what something's going to look like. It's not impossible. I have a little bit of it happening, but it's just enough to get me to go and try things. If I had zero idea about what was going to happen, then I wouldn't be doing it. But this is all built up over years and years, right? So I've been doing this for so long that I can anticipate what it might look like when I laid my pen down on the paper, because I'm familiar with my history of making these marks, and also the pen itself. The pen has a certain character, the ink flows in a certain way, as opposed to my other pens, the Bic or the Unis. Wait, is this? Yeah, this is a Pilot, not a Uni. A little confused there, a little pen confusion happening. I would prefer just to have one pen only, really. But each one has there are reasons why I use each one. This one I'm using because I started with it on this piece, thinking that this ink would be here forever. Surely I didn't even consider that Pilot would change their formula. I don't know why they did. I'm imagining that it's because they just found a cheaper alternative, and because people don't really care about the quality of the ink so much, they just thought, okay, we'll just use this cheaper stuff. You know what? Scratch that. I have no idea why they did it. They might have a very good reason. It might be something to do with environmental decision. They want to help stave off the pending doom of reckless pollution. Very well could be that. Whatever the reason is, the ink that they currently have is inferior for me as somebody who uses this to draw with. It doesn't have any, it's just very, very charcoal black. It's like there's no character in it, and also it comes out a little less smooth. It doesn't really look all that great, and the feeling of it is not all that great. So I abandoned Pilot in favor of a more consistent ink in the Bic pens. Doesn't mean that Pilot won't come back someday for me, and it doesn't mean that you should not use it for writing or even drawing. It could be ink that you like. Could be the ink for you. It's just not the ink for me. Now this one is. I like this ink. Right. Okay, so what I did there is I darkened this in, and I took it up more than I thought I would, but that's fine. Why not just go all the way? Why not? Could happen. I'm cross-hatching now. But I don't think I'm going to go all the way. I don't think I'm going to make it 100% black. All right, that's fine. And I'm doing this squinting because I need to see if this is going to work. Or if it did work, in fact. It doesn't matter if it's going to because it's done. All right, now I'm going to fill in this area, yeah, in the same fashion. Because it is still busy. If any of you are wondering, I'm going to assume some of you are, how somebody might do this with a ballpoint pen, meaning get the soft gradients, because there's this idea that ballpoint pens just make one line, one black, red, green, whatever color it is, just one line, and then you can imagine you make another line and another line, and you put them together, and then you have a thicker line. That's not, I don't think anybody really questions that idea, but there have been, I've seen comments where somebody will show a piece of art and it'll, like a face has been drawn, or a flower, or a dog, or something that looks photographic, say. And then the comment will be, how did you do that with a ballpoint pen? And there are ballpoint pens where I think it would be much more difficult to do. Ones that use water-based ink, I think, for example, because those pens use ink that really, it's either on or off, black or white. It's either there or not. This one has, the oil-based pens tend to be a little grayer if you keep, it's something to do with the way that the ink is distributed, I think, and also just the ink itself. It has this effect. But what I wanted to tell you here is, when you're doing this, you do one stroke, right? And there it is, it's there. If it's on white, you can see it. But if it's in the area that you have several strokes, you can't really see it all that much. But you keep doing it. Just keep scratching almost like this. With patience, it'll come around. It really has, if the ink is flowing, it really has no choice but to get darker and darker and darker, progressively darker. Right? And so how you, or where you put it, that's the place where it's going to get darker. So having patience, I think, is the key. That's the way it works. If you want an area to to be filled with ink, and you want kind of a middle ground, a middle gray. You just keep going over it until it looks like that, you see? Now, I just did this area, and I actually like it. It's not, there's some splotchiness going on here. I'll take care of that right now. But yeah, I think overall, it's a winner. It's a winner. Yeah, overall, I think it's a winner. Now, when I say splotchiness, I mean inconsistencies in the gradation, really. So that's why I'm taking it at from a cross-hatching point of view. Cross-hatching is going in a perpendicular direction from where you were before, or at some other angle. That's a cross-hatching. So if I'm going in this direction, right, and then I go this direction, this is a crosshatch to this hatch. And by going in this direction, and you're just like, if I tap it like this, then I can get this splotchiness taken care of, meaning I'm hitting the areas that are wider. And so if you have an area that is splotchy, well, that means that there's some white in there next to the darker area. Lighter areas, I should say, next to the darker areas. And so you just go in and you hit those lighter areas so that they move up into the darker area. And then you have an evenness. Right. And you could spend a lot of time doing that, and then you can overwork it, which I do. Okay, now up in here, I still think this needs a little bit more darkness. Now, I don't have in front of me now what this looked like earlier because I'm working on it, right? But you can go back and see what it looked like before, and then look at what it looks like now, and you'll notice that this area it feels less detailed. Well, because it is. Oh, earthquake. Yeah, all shook up. All right. Hope that was not too big for people at the epicenter. Okay. Yeah. So that is less detailed. And I'm going to do the same treatment, and it's right here. So, all right. Yeah. And I think that move this line down into here, like so. Get rid of that little line down there. And then, let's see here, like so. Yep. Yeah. Now that one I was really pushing hard. I don't feel good about that. Sometimes I get a little impatient. Sometimes it doesn't really matter. You can push hard. Yeah, but the default should be to relax when you draw. Just relax. See, like right here is a good example. I'm just going to keep consistently hitting the paper with my pen very lightly, and eventually it'll blend fine. It just blends very nicely into what was there earlier. So now all I have is this little tiny area right there, and around it is darkened in, and so there it is. It's less detail. I've de-detailed it, and I have to be careful not to do that everywhere because then it's the opposite of what I want. I do want some detail, right? So this was probably drawn in 2013. I did it in different times. Like one year I did it. I drew a lot of it, probably not even thinking it was going to become something, just messing around with my pen, practicing, really. And then I put it away. I don't throw these things away. I put it away in some folder. Came back to it later. Thought, oh, okay, I'll work on this. You know, I have folders that and like the folders that I'm working on things. I put the paper in there very carefully. You have the paper, then you have or you have the paper with the art on it. Then you have another piece of paper on top of that, clean paper. Sometimes I'll have touched the surface of the paper, and I'll put a T on that surface, meaning top. So I know not to turn it over and put that against the art, because there's oil in your hands. You really don't want to touch the paper, or as little as possible. I am touching this, but ideally I shouldn't be. But I am not an ideal man. Okay. I'm a practical man. Right. Okay, so that, and down into here has been done, has been de-detailed. How about here? Yes, I'll do that. So I hit the lines like that. You see, those were spaced a bit. And then I can come back in and do it again, lighter. Not really even trying to push it all. And what I'm doing is, like I was messing with the area earlier. I think it was around here. I was trying to de-splotch it. A lot of D going on here. De-splotched it. And so in a way I'm doing that here. I'm getting in between the cracks. And my eyesight is not very good at all. So I'm, in a way, it's an advantage because it's a little bit blurry, all of this. So I can, it's like squinting, right? You get rid of a lot of the sharp detail that's going on around you, and you know where it is that you can hit to bring it into a smoother existence. So that's what I'm doing now, is I'm just going between the lines there, de-splotching it, taking away the splotches. Yeah. I like it, actually. And I like the gray. I don't think I want to make this much darker. It does reduce the detail, though. So, yeah, now I'm going to turn it slightly So I can hit this area here. And it looks like this could be rounded, so I want to be aware of that. Oh, you know, before I go in there, I can take advantage of the new angle this page sits relative to my hand, and I can do some cross hatching, and this will take care of a lot of that splotching, or splotch. Is splotching a word? Let's make it a word. Splotching. What are you doing this evening? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I definitely am going to work on this area too. I just realized I'm looking forward to getting over there. So let me finish up this, and then I can get over there. I'll be cross-hatching this in just a minute. See, I'm touching the page down here, but that's not very good thing to do. I should use this paper. That's better. Just forget. What happens is the oil in your hand, the oil in my hand, can turn the page brown over time. I try to, I want clean hands. I like clean hands, but my hands do have oil in them. If they didn't, my hands wouldn't work. Clean hands are fun. All right, now, as I said, I'm going to do some cross-hatching right here. Okay. So I'm right there, and I'm going to go in this direction. Start here where I was earlier and move my way toward that soon-to-be finished area. I'm back here because I see more areas that are a bit splotchy. Yeah, okay. Be patient. Don't push too hard. Just be consistent. Keep going. Tap, tap, tap. Stroke, tap, stroke. Stroke, tap, tap, tap. This is how it goes. this is how it goes for me. Okay, let's see. Oh. Yep. As I said, I'm going to work this area here, and then I'm going to move back up that way. Yeah. I feel like doing a lot of work today. I have a few hours. Why not? Let's make it a long video. Sit back, relax. Okay, so let me explain what I'm thinking here. I don't like this area at all. Doesn't do me. It's not good. Why don't I like it? Well, it doesn't look like it fits really. It looks like it's a bit pasted in. So right now I'm not even on it. I'm back over here because I saw something I need to do. Need to fix. Okay, here I am back. So what I'd like to do is blend this up. So how I'm going to do that is set a circle, semicircle, right there. Okay. So wish me luck. Like that. Yes. See, that's important because I'm not going to have this very dark here. Darker here, lighter there. But I will start up here with lines like so. I might end up darkening it in more than I had originally intended. Okay, but that's fine. Just like that. So now I turn it around, actually, almost completely the opposite direction. Right. Okay. And go from here. And this time I'm going to go a little bit more, spend more time in the bottom area than in the top area. And what that'll do is I'll build up the ink here. Venturing up here, not as much as down here. Staying down in here. You see? Then this bottom area will be darker. And go up a little bit to say hello. Then come back down. Wait a minute, you said go back down, you're still up here. Yeah, that's true. Down is up in this orientation. Okay. Mm-hmm. Looks pretty uniform. So I'll spend more time down here. All right, let's take a look. Turn it around. Yeah, that is better right there. Now I'm going to do some cross-hatching. And I do believe that these double lines here can be a bit too much, so I will darken in this area up here. Still some parts need to be, there's still some splotchy areas to take care of. Right, okay. So a lot of this has been detailed. Right. This is a prime candidate for detailing. Do I hit here or do I hit in here? That is a question. This is almost set up perfectly for me to do this same kind of treatment, right? Also, I'm not quite sure if I finished this area here or not, whether it's going to get more detailing going on later. Yeah, I'll hit this area here. And the way I'm going to do that is start in the darker area right there. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, I like that, actually. Pretty good. I like it a lot. That's a much, much better than it was earlier. Yeah, just wasn't finished. Still isn't. Almost, though. Kind of doing a semi crosshatch here. I'm gonna go very light up in here because I don't want this to fade into that area like so. It's not really fading all that wonderfully though. Okay, here's nice. The fade is just okay. Not my favorite fade. I've seen better. So what am I going to do about it then? Well, I will turn it around and get it into a position where I can use my downward stroke, which is my most reliable stroke, is the downward stroke. And this is where the patience comes in. You just keep going. And voila. Actually, I'm going to make it go into here. It's begging me to. So I will. I'll move into this area. Oh, it's almost time. Almost time. And moving into that area, I made it darker subsequently, but it works. That's the important thing, that it works. So I'm gonna wrap this up after I sort out this splotchy area here. And then we'll come back and do that part up at the top there that I was talking about earlier. I intended to do this at a later in a later session. I don't think this is gonna be too many more sessions before it's finished. Maybe one or two only, and then we're done. Might even do a lot of this off camera, I'm not sure yet. Okay. Yeah, while I'm up here, I might as well try and sort out some of these other little things that I see that I have to de-splotch like that. And when I come back later, I might see some areas that I need to work on as well. I could keep fiddle screwing this thing for forever, really. No, not really forever. But yeah, all right. Let's see where we are. I'm gonna put this to the side. I'm gonna zoom out here. Zoom out. Boom. Okay. See, that's where we are. Let me put on my glasses. See what's happening. Okay, I worked there and there and there and up in here, and I started with the detailing right in there. I talked a bit about process a lot. Talked a lot about process. And next, yeah, it's much better, isn't it? Much less detail, but still thick with lots of squiggles and directions and fades and all kinds of stuff going on in there. So how much am I gonna try and reduce the detail? And how much am I going to just leave? As long as I can find prominent areas that your eyes will focus on, or an area. As long as I can bring out something, I'm thinking this area is the most important. But I like this too, and this is interesting. Not a lot's happening here. This is a little bit kind of dead area. I might actually have to go in and add some detail in here, meaning some fades and whatnot. This is asking for something to happen in here, but if I do, that's just more detail, you see. So this is where I am. But